Are you serious? You better grab a cup of coffee, because what I'm getting ready to share with you is going to blow your mind. What? There is an idol god moving in a museum in Egypt, and there's Bible prophecy said that these events would happen. Now just hang on, everybody.
A baffling museum mystery that sounds like something straight out of a movie. An ancient Egyptian statue spinning in place inside an exhibit at a top museum. ABC's John Muller has that story for us.
Curse, caper, or clever prank. This morning, heads in England are spinning after this time-lapse video appeared to capture an ancient Egyptian statue doing the same thing, spinning.
Live, this is One for the Record. I'm Diana, and today is June 25th, 2013, and here are your quick news updates for today. I'm going to try to attach Dr. Deagle to the show today. Okay, I'm going to start off with a Diana theory. My theory is that Edward Snowden, they're always talking about him. I don't believe he exists. That's my Diana theory. I believe this guy does not exist. I think he's a distraction from all the other bills and everything that they're trying to sign and whatever's going on. That's all. There's your new theory there, or you can call it a conspiracy theory, but I believe that if you work, the higher up in the government you are, I believe they do chip you. If you're way up there in the NSA or whatever that is, I would believe that. Am I wrong? But aren't those people chipped? Because of the security level, they're almost at the highest security level. They would have to chip those people. Alrighty then, think about it. Alright, there's my 1 minute of Diana theory. Now, moving on. Let's go on to the Extinction Protocol 2012 and beyond. Hazy skies over Singapore unleash arsenal of hailstones. Also, virus may be steadily spreading. Saudi Arabia reports 8 MERS, M-E-R-S, cases that were asymptomatic, meaning there's no symptoms. A means none in a doctor's terminology. Alrighty then, NOAA, a rare tsunami hit the East Coast earlier this month. Heads up on that. We'll say it again. NOAA, NOAA, a rare tsunami hit the East Coast earlier this month. Oh, I didn't see it. Anybody see it? It's probably small. In India to investigate reports of underwater volcano near nuke plant in Kalapakam. 6.4 earthquake strikes mid-Atlantic ridge along planet's equator. Alright, here we go. Maybe we're going into the pole shift. Okay, let's move on. Let's see if we can get to the E&E News. Yeah, or the Watchers. Maybe I can get to the Watchers today pretty fast. Let's see here, the Watchers. Just go there. There's nothing new on breaking news. It just said something about an EF0 on Monday. Touchdown. We're already in Tuesday, so... Transhumanism debunked. Why drinking the Cooswell Kool-Aid will only make you dead, not something else. Okay. Also, Tropical Storm Cosme likely to become a hurricane in the next 24 hours. Food Mythbusters. Do we really need industrial agriculture to feed the world? Someone brought up to me, it must be part of that depopulation thing, but I've heard it on the radio myself, and a couple other people from Space Coast, Florida, called in to me and told me that there was a study done by a university that says it's okay to drink moderately while you're pregnant. Being a mother of two, I wouldn't do it. Just so you know. So heads up on that. You don't want a baby with alcohol syndrome or something. So heads up on that. They're saying it's okay to drink moderately. I wouldn't even take a risk. Usually women don't even take an aspirin while they're pregnant, or Tylenol or anything. You try not to take anything for a healthy baby. Alrighty then, that supermoon last night was awfully big. If you saw it, it looked like a harvest moon. Alrighty then. Keeping an eye on solar flares and everything else. I don't see anything new reported. Let's go to the E&E news, the energy news. See if I can get back up there. I'm trying to make this quick so we can attach the rest of that one Dr. Deagle show so we can be done with it. But it was very interesting because Ann Morrison was on there the whole time. I like her. Alright, going into the E&E news. If it doesn't come up, I might just call it a day. Let's see here. Okay, Japan, Fukushima, E&E news, energy news. See if they changed anything. Plutonium, this is June 25th, today. Plutonium burning reactors to restart in Japan. Government forcing companies to use MOX fuel. We have no other choice. Yep, I told you they're incompetent. They're gonna burn plutonium in the reactors, okay? Heads up on that. We have no choice. Other choice? Yes, you do. You don't ever start them back up. Okay, record level of radiation tritium found in ocean near Fukushima plant. Japan official, nuclear material may be seeping into harbor. Also today, radioactive material soars in ocean near Fukushima plant. TEPCO, contaminated underground water leaking into Pacific? With a question mark? We already know. I don't understand why these people are still, you know. Let's see here. I don't know why. Why is this still going on? Why isn't the UN taking charge of this? This is a big crime against humanity, and you're letting it happen, and it's going to affect you and the future generations. And it's not just, okay, say you don't like humans, alright? For some reason, you're destroying the animals and the plants, too. The whole ecosystem. Not very green, is it? Not very green at all. TV alert issued after fire at U.S. nuclear site. Triggered for fire may have actually happened hours before. Official, this is yesterday. This stands out from the string of recent bad news about leaking U.S. nuclear site. It really does complicate cleanup further. No clear plan for responding quickly to leaking nuclear waste. And that's at Hanford. Alrighty then. There's your news for today. Please be safe. Be prepared for anything. Stay out of the rain. Don't eat the fish in the Pacific Ocean unless you test it first. How's that? For radiation. Alright, take care. And I'll see you again tomorrow on the flip side.
Palisades sues the federal government over lack of waste storage, and Palisades safety rating gets degraded from one of the worst in the country. And so the public's been involved in this, and Congressman Fred Upton apparently is the person who is their representative. So anyway, it's down again, and they'll get that water storage tank fixed. But it seems to me like they got bigger problems. They've got operational problems as well as physical problems to me. I mean, that's the way it seems like to me anyway.
Well, I think your assessment is probably right on there, Ann. And this comes back to my mantra and yours also, of preparedness, that people should be prepared 24/7 to deal with anything that comes along. And that's a good way to live your life, isn't it?
Yeah, now I just want to talk briefly about this storm that we had. They called it a derecho, and you may not have heard that term, but they do have derechos. And I looked up the statistics. Historically, we don't have one across the middle part of the eastern part of the country, except maybe once every 2 years, and now we've had 2 in 2 years. And derechos are not tornadoes, although they can spawn tornadoes, or you can have a system that will spawn both a derecho and a tornado. But it's mostly a high wind event, and we certainly saw a lot of damage. There was a tornado outside of Washington, D.C. Now, what we have is we have rising ocean levels. The rising ocean levels means there's a bigger surface for water to evaporate from. That puts more water into the air because we have more evaporation. When you have more water into the air, then you're going to have easier transport of hurricanes across land. In other words, when Superstorm Sandy came into New Jersey, it came in there and it just kept going.
Right.
You know, it didn't stop when it got to the land. Now, I remember in my lifetime, and probably in the last 20 years, when hurricanes would disintegrate into a tropical storm and then a tropical depression, and by the time they exited, maybe in the Gulf of Mexico, and they'd go up, they become a tropical storm, then a tropical depression. By the time they got out in the Pacific, in the Atlantic again, there was nothing left of them. Well, that's not happening these days. These storms this last tropical storm that came in, that started in the Gulf of Mexico, it's our first one. It crossed over the Isthmus of Florida without any problem. I mean, and then it went up the coast. And it's like there's so much water in the air that these hurricanes aren't stopped by land. And I think that people are worried about that. Now, when I look at the jet stream, the jet stream used to go around across the northern part of the country in pretty much a west to east direction. And then they had what they called the southern jet stream that appeared in the summer. Well, now we've got a jet stream that seems to be broken. And as you've discussed, the effect of the warm water, the Gulf Stream that used to go up the east coast of Florida and then then warm up the northeast and then cut across the ocean and warm up Spain and England and Norway, and before it would circle back and come down Greenland, and then reach the salinity pump at the tip of Greenland and plunge downward into the bottom of the ocean and then travel back to the warm waters of the Indian Ocean. Well, it looks like that because the Gulf Stream has stopped now, I won't say the jet stream has stopped, it's just become very broken up. And there are cases where you've got two jet streams. You've got one that is up by the Arctic Circle, and then you have one that is further south. It's at, instead of being, it's not at the equator, but it's definitely at, we're at 40, so it's probably at 30 degrees latitude.
Right.
And there's quite a large swath of that, except that it's broken, and some of it seems to come from, it seems to go into the Arctic, so it's going from south to north, and that's a really strange way for the jet stream to go from south to north, especially in the northern hemisphere.
Right.
You just don't expect that, John.
No,
So some of the strange things that are going on in the weather world could be due to the brokenness of the jet stream, and in addition to the amount of moisture that is now being contained in the air. Now, what's going to happen, and what we saw last year, was that it snowed over the Great Lakes and the Great Lakes area, and we're still waiting for the snow to melt. Now, if that snow melt doesn't occur in southern Canada, and I haven't heard that it's flooded the Mississippi River or the Missouri River, then it will lay on the ground over the summer,
right.
And then when it snows next year, it'll build up.
Right. That's exactly what'll happen.
So we're talking about an ice age.
That's been talked about on this show before, hasn't it?
Yes.
I think we're out of time, Ann.
Well, it was fun, John, but
it was fun.
There's tragedy out there.
Next week, and have a great weekend, Ann, and everybody else out there. Have a great, fun, safe weekend.